What's up, everyone? TheAireaidLord is here. Welcome back to another vlog. Probably Walking Dead related, although I have some general, just updates and stuff to the channel. I am uploading this a day after my previous upload, which was gameplay footage of modded levels from Jak and Daxter from a open goal modding community, which was, as a diehard fan of that series from my childhood, was astounding, very, very fun. My live reactions were in the hour-plus long video, and I just uploaded the raw footage yesterday. I did not make or upload really any footage in the month of November, looking back at my upload history, and I do apologize for kind of going dark on the channel. However, I discussed this in my channel, my channel anniversary video last December, on December 27th, which is the day that I opened my YouTube channel back in 2010, when I had my 12-year anniversary last year. I talked about the fact that, I was going to be doing some rebranding on the channel, and that I originally was going to my original plan was to pause all activity on the channel once the main Walking Dead show ended. But then those plans to, get all of my writing underway didn't come to fruition as quickly as I thought. So, I decided to just keep doing some of the review vlogs. We had both the Negan-Maggie show, Dead City, and also the Daryl Dixon show in Paris. Both of those came out, and that was like the majority of the Walking Dead content for this past year. We did have Fear the Walking Dead, but that was an abysmal mess that I've seen plenty of Walking Dead YouTubers I'm friendly and familiar with, and I do advocate for their content. They've covered those videos in good fashion, and it's just, man, it's really, really baffling how a showrunner can be allowed to put that kind of garbage on TV. It's just from everything I've seen, it's just some episodes are filler, and just, it would, thank God it ended, is all I can say. Thank God Fear the Walking Dead is just over. The show just never had any purpose or intent about where it was going. There were some actors and actresses that had some good performances on the show, and I don't want to take away from that, but the overarching, it was The Walking Dead 2.0. Really, I mean, the first season showed so much promise, having been before the apocalypse. And then because I watched it when it first came out, I watched all the first 6 episodes, which was the entirety of the first season. And then by the end of the first season, the world has already fallen apart, and it just turns into The Walking Dead. And then multiple actors left. Slowly but surely, a lot of the main cast started to leave the show. And then that's when you had characters from the main Walking Dead cross over. Morgan and Dwight were the biggest ones. So then you were kind of telling Walking Dead stuff, but combined with the Fear characters. It was just mind-numbingly bizarre and frustrating. There was no, because at least World Beyond was a 2-season limited run where it gave us some context into the CRM, which is going to be coming into the main spotlight for the Rick show, The Ones Who Live, in February. So at least that had some purpose behind it. And it was only 2 seasons. They didn't drag it out for freaking 9 seasons, where the audience was just kind of, running amok with these kids that they probably weren't going to have that much interest in had it run for 9 seasons. So, yeah, just massive failure on Fear the Walking Dead. But I'm glad it's over. So, really, at this point in the Walking Dead universe, there's just the sequels to all of the shows. So we're going to get season 2 of the Daryl show, which now has Carol, as we saw in the finale of the first season, the Book of Carol, I guess it's called. So now she's either going to be going I'm assuming Daryl stays in Paris. Like the season 1 finale, like he was about to leave on the boat, and then Laurent like rushes to the beach and doesn't want him to leave. Obviously, if the whole theme of the show is Daryl being in Paris, like they're not gonna have him leave, especially because the main villain of that woman and her group, they're not defeated. The main I forget his name, the main antagonist who ends up letting him live, Daryl live, the bald guy, um, he's still around. So you still have like the main actors, characters running about in the France region. So it wouldn't make sense, even though it's open ended. That season 1 finale, like it's a given pretty much that Daryl's not leaving Paris. And what's probably going to happen is Carol is going to track him down, and then Carol is going to get involved in the Paris stuff, which it was always coined as the Daryl Carol show. It was the pairs, right? And then Melissa McBride wasn't involved, and then she was involved, and now we know maybe she just needed a break, kind of like Andrew Lincoln when Andrew Lincoln left the Walking Dead show, and now he's coming back to reprise his role. Maybe it's the same thing. Maybe the main Walking Dead show ended and Melissa McBride was like, listen, like I need a break, have Norman Reedus do the first season, and then I'll jump in. So that seems to be what they've done. So, but obviously, in the time since I've last made my videos, we did get a trailer, and I regret, like, that is one video I wanted to make, but I just didn't have time to do it, was a review video for the Rick Grimes show, The Ones Who Live. They had a full, like a larger trailer, a meatier trailer. And there's definitely, we see General Beale, we see Rick like actually being imprisoned in the CRM. We see him killing walkers. Like this image is one shot from an earlier trailer before the main one. I think it was at New York Comic Con they showed it. And that was one of my last videos, ironically. So I would love to go back and do a breakdown. It's been a few weeks now. Most people, YouTubers have, discussed this. And at this point, like, I'm just waiting for the actual product to come out. I've done so many really ever since 2018, I've done so many speculation videos on Rick since he left in, the 9th season of the main show. So at this point, I'm ready to just wait till frickin' February, which is really only 2 months away at this point, which is wild. But it is. It's only 2 months away, and we'll wait, and we'll get the fate of Rick, and see the 6 episodes again. I don't know if it's only just 6 episodes. I mean, both the Negan Maggie and the Daryl and Carol, both those shows are getting second seasons. So I don't know. It would be bizarre if they didn't, unless, now we've heard this, and I don't know if I mentioned, I think I mentioned it in my last vlog, that Gimple said, like, oh, the goal eventually is for all of these shows to merge together. It's like, oh, so we're going to make The Walking Dead 2.0 once all the mini-series do their thing and then connect, and then there's something else. I always thought that that's what they were going to do, minus the mini-series. Like, I thought that, like, the finale of the main show would connect to like the stuff that was going on with Rick, and then it would be one giant finale. But they're doing it kind of in like a reverse, like an additional order. Like the main show ends, then they get more spin-offs, and then it's going to connect to something. Like, so it's like they just added more steps to the process. So I had a version, I guess, correctly of what they were going to do. I just hope they stick the landing, because as we just discussed, Fear the Walking Dead was abysmal. World Beyond was okay, but it didn't get great reviews either. And I haven't looked at the reviews for Dead City and the Daryl show. Both were enjoyable. Nothing groundbreaking. Like, it's what you would expect from The Walking Dead. Like, I enjoyed myself. I mean, you know what characters you're getting from those shows. But yeah, nothing completely groundbreaking. I mean, again, like, the Rick one is really the one that's going to set the bar the highest. I mean, he's the main guy. We've been following his story since 2010. His story is not over. over 12 years later, and we will find out definitively what happens in a few months. And we will know, based on that ending, if there is going to be a season two, if he's going to be alive and stay connected to this universe when they make like the interconnected series, if it's called The Walking Dead 2 or whatever the hell it's called. Um, all of these things will be answered. And this is really the main thing that's keeping me connected to this universe. Um, because for me, like, I've been following the show for so long, but even part of me is just like, all right, like, this has been a long ass journey. I feel like this is kind of the end of it. Like, once the Rick 6 episodes, if that's all they made, if all they intended was 6 episodes just to tell the Michonne and Rick story, maybe I can just hang my hat on that. I will indulge the second seasons of the other two spinoffs, but in terms of like my main investment in the story, maybe it just ends there, right? And again, that's without knowing what their greater plans for the universe are. But even me, someone who's like been deeply invested in this universe for years, it's been 10 years, over 10 years, because I started watching the show my freshman year of college, which, if you can freaking believe it, was 10 years ago. So fall of 2013, when the most recent episode at that point was the season 4 mid-season finale, when the governor attacks the prison. That's when I started watching and binge watched up to the mid-season finale of 4, and then religiously followed the episodes. I got into the comics, and that's really where my channel pivoted. Because I was doing YouTube, like video game gameplay playthroughs. I mean, they're all archived on my channel from years ago. Like, if you want to see any of my footage from over the years of random games that came out from that time period, you're more than welcome to check them out. But yeah, I mean, I've been watching the show now for over 10 years, and that's a lot of investment, all the reaction videos and prediction videos and review videos, and I've made probably hundreds upon hundreds of these. If you added everything together, reactions, reviews, predictions, I had like the what if, I would like coin scenarios and all sorts of just fun vlog theories, content, things to think about. But yeah, I mean, at a point, like, you definitely got to think about like kind of moving on, and what does my content look like beyond The Walking Dead. And as I mentioned in my, maybe some of you didn't, I mean, it's a long video, so I'm assuming a lot of you didn't watch from, I can leave a link maybe, or it was December 27th of last year. It was the 12-year anniversary of my YouTube channel, and I was just giving like a retrospective of a whole bunch of things. And one of the things that I announced was that I would either be closing this YouTube channel or radically changing the content that I make on it, mainly because I have a piece of fiction, a piece of writing that is my own creation. Nothing to do with The Walking Dead, nothing to do with any video game I've ever covered on this channel. It's a unique piece of writing. There's a computer right over here I'm actually doing work on right now for it. And it's something I never really discuss on the channel. I did discuss it back way early in the channel, years and years ago. This is like 2011, 2012, like the first couple of years of doing YouTube. I had self-published a book, and that was just really to get my feet wet. I just wanted friends and family to see it. I tried to pair it with the YouTube stuff, and so I just gave it to people. Like, I was going to conventions and stuff, so I would give people the book, and I just, tried to sell as many copies as I could. Again, still in high school at the time, so I was getting my bearings of what marketing and entrepreneurial mindset stuff was. But then, like, in college and beyond, in the background, I took it more seriously, but I never discussed it on the channel. Like, I've written, geez, how many books at this point? 3 books since then. and the one of them is actually getting published with a legit publisher. It's not just a self-published project. Like, there's actual money and investments and contracts and stuff like that. So it's not something I've talked about on the channel, because this channel is about video games and The Walking Dead, which there's more than enough evidence of that. So I never felt the reason to discuss that. But what I'm saying is, like, when the time comes, I'm going to want to market it and talk about it and maybe do discussion vlogs and answer fan questions. And that's the thing I have to consider. Like, do I want this YouTube channel to be a home for my own stuff? Because this channel has always been about covering other media. It's been about covering The Walking Dead, and it's about covering video game stuff. Like, would it be too much to just shove everything? I guess I have the 12,000 subscribers, like, on the channel, so, like, that viewership matters to me, and the fact that I have a large volume of work. Like, there are so many videos from the past 12 years that are archived on this channel, so that can't really be ignored. So it's just things to think about, because if I make a brand new channel, I'm kind of starting from scratch. Then again, if I have the backing of a publisher, maybe I get attention that way. Maybe I could just make a few videos on this channel where I redirect people to, like, the other channel and be like, hey, like, that's the channel where I talk about my own writing. This will be either an archive, or if I continue to still do it. But if my writing takes a larger portion of my time, because I'll actually, be making a good amount of money off of it, and, it's also that's my diehard passion that I've wanted to do since I was a kid. I love doing this too, but, like, if I had to pick which is my passion, it's definitely the writing. So yeah, that's kind of my thought process right now. Again, like, none of this is new information. I announced a lot of this for the first time in that 12-year anniversary video. So now that, because I took a big chunk of time off from when I made my last video in October, and now, like, as things get more serious on my end with where my book is going to be at, like, now I'm at that point where I'm like, okay, I maybe have to decide sometime next year what this channel is going to be. I will, of course, use it as an announcement platform, so you know where to find the stuff that I do. But those are just some things to think about. When I have more announcements, I will make them. I will definitely cover the Rick show. Like, I can't not do it. I've been waiting too long, and I've reacted to too many things Walking Dead and Rick related not to cover the ones who live. So I will be covering it, so do not worry. Probably not doing reaction videos. I don't want to get into copyrighted stuff. Because that's all those reaction videos from the earlier Walking Dead seasons. It's technically copyrighted content. Again, if I use this channel, that's why I'm thinking, like, I might have to make another YouTube channel, because this one, there's some copyrighted stuff on the channel. Like, I have footage of the main Walking Dead show, not to mention video game playthroughs where some of the fair use law stuff is very tricky. I've made money off of this channel before, back when I was partnered with Machinima and just Google AdSense. So, again, some of those things might change, but, like, whatever is the better platform, whether it's a brand new YouTube channel or I just section off and just go in a new direction here, I think, it's better to have options. And that's the good thing. Like, at least, like, as I'm starting to release works of my own, The Walking Dead is kind of coming to an end. Like, again, like, the end of the Rick show in February is not the official end of The Walking Dead, but, like, it definitely, like, if they intend to I don't know, that's the question. Like, will they put the end on Rick's story once those 6 episodes are completed? That's what I want to know. Once The Ones Who Live has the 6-episode limited series run, is that the definitive. Is Rick coming back for this other Walking Dead connected show, or are we saying goodbye to him? I mean, if he for some reason dies in the 6 episode run, that's pretty damn definitive. But if he's still alive and it's open ended, then questions will circulate like, will he come back? And because we all want him to have a reunion, of course, with Judith, especially Carol, Daryl would be the biggest one. Of course, Daryl spent so many years looking for him. There is the line in the Daryl show where Carol is on the mic and says blank came back, and you have to think it's Rick. I mean, who the freak else would come back? Some people were thinking maybe Morgan came back, and there's rumors that maybe Morgan's going to be in the new Rick show. That would be cool. I don't know. I don't think so. We'll see, though. So that's what I'm saying. Like, at least me promoting my own writing is coming at a time when, like, the Walking Dead stuff isn't, like, it's kind of, like, it's going down. Like, there's not as much and to cover. And there are other channels that I've enjoyed. Oh, I moved that by accident. There are other channels that cover The Walking Dead. Like, I covered it, like, very closely in the years prior. And there are channels right now that are doing that. That I enjoy and that I've had contact with on the back end, actually. I've talked to these guys, like, in email off YouTube. And they have, very solid structures, formats for making videos, very well spoken. And they're people that I would advocate for in a heartbeat. Basically, if, like, your hunger for Walking Dead content, like, I could supplement that if my attention focuses on my own work. So, I guess this video is kind of serving as an end of the year channel update. I probably won't be making like a my 13-year channel anniversary, because I'm really just going to be saying this in a different format. And most people, like, there's plenty of videos where I talk about my YouTube history from start to finish. So, there's no reason to there's no reason to once again tell my story for a 400th time of how I started on YouTube and how I started watching The Walking Dead. Like, people have heard that many times before. So all right, that's all I got for you guys. I'll upload this, and if you have any questions, of course, let me know. Again, there's not a whole hell of a lot for the rest of the year to cover. I mean, in February, it will be the launch of the Rick show, so, like, that's a given. And I will be invested in that, talking about that. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you later for more content in the future. Peace out.